Hello, hello, check one. Hmm. Good afternoon, Thailand. and good night, US. But whatever the time is, thank you for signing in, logging in. It's been a while. I just want to say that I always get busy, especially with work. I always get busy, and then I just don't do anything. But a friend of mine, oh, I'm gonna shut this. There you go. Um, and I always lose practice, like live streaming and talking in front of the camera, staring at the lens and stuff. But a friend of mine very rightly says all the time to me that just do it, and so this is it. I'm just doing it. So that's that. So the title of the video is basically how to start a business in Thailand. I have not been in business for like 30 years or something, so I'm pretty sure there's other people who are possibly much more advanced in how to deal with stuff. For me, I've had a business for in Thailand, in Bangkok, Thailand, for about almost a year. I purchased it from a friend of mine, and just so it would be easier and faster. But there are some points I want to, talk about based on my experience. I think that a bunch of people would get some kind of help from what I have to say, and it might be something that you want to look into. So yeah, let's start talking about it. Let's start talking about things. So let me just introduce my own self first. Uh, I'm the owner of the managing director of Zosma Productions in Bangkok, in Thailand, and that's basically we cover marketing activities for companies, social media marketing, advertising. We have some contacts with local news channels and local companies that actually give us lower rates, but it sounds like I'm advertising uh, my own company. Um, but what happens is, sorry, but what happens is there is a bunch of we do video production, we do photography. So that's in a nutshell, that's what my situation is over here. That's what my company does. How I started this company, Zosma Productions, is I came to Thailand about over 7 years ago, and I wanted to do something different, change my life a bit, and I took up a job. Even I think it was for 3 4 months actually, for a part-time teaching position. Before that, I had not been a teacher. I had been a teacher's assistant back in college in the US. So, but that was like ages ago before that. So I had to do a short course. It was a 1 month long extensive course that actually, made us teach foreigners, people in our own classes. We had to teach Thai people within the school, and outsiders who came in. There was a certain hour long teaching certificate and stuff that's called TEFL, TEFL. So a lot of people know about that anyways. Other than that, um, so from there I went into teaching for a couple of months, but then I found a job at a news agency. They did my work permit and passport stuff, everything. After that, within a year, I found a better job at an international school in marketing, so I did that. That is what my past experience was, and I worked in that school for about 4.5 years. And after that, I decided I wanted to do my own thing. So I started talking to people, trying to take advice and figuring stuff out, like what actually I'm supposed to be doing, and that's how we went forward. I had to make up a lot of contacts. I had to talk to a lot of people, and it was not a difficult, not an easy decision, because at the end of the day, I was getting paid every single month, right? And I think I felt, or I was going through in my head or whatever, um, through the same kind of stuff that other people go through when they actually want to quit a job and start a business. So before I quit my job, I started talking to people, just possibilities of people who would like to work with me, who would like to use my services and stuff. So I got a couple of people on board, and then then I gave my resignation letter. I talked to my boss, who was really really supportive in the school, and I basically gave my resignation. But that resignation letter, it took almost a year to write, to figure out, based on different things, uh, due to the fact that COVID hit. So I was actually supposed to quit 4 months prior to COVID. And that did not happen. COVID hit, and I was like, what the hell is going on in the world, and blah, blah. All of that aside, I eventually, did it. So this video is going to talk about, my experience with my lawyer, my accountant, different things with the law, what I had to do, how much money I had to keep aside. And this is all my experience. There are lawyers who are cheaper, like, yeah, much cheaper. There are lawyers who are much more expensive, English speakers, Thai speakers. So we're going to talk about all of that in the coming few minutes, or 10 hours, based on how long this uh, whole thing is. I'm joking. Um, so yeah, let's get into it. So first, I mean, you saw a map of the world, and I'll bring it back up, um, because where is it? Yeah, yeah. So I'll bring the map up again, and there's a reason for that. This is basically where you want to be starting a business. Now, since we're going to be talking about Thailand, let's go towards Thailand. So, there is Malaysia at the bottom, Singapore at the bottom, Cambodia on the right, Vietnam on the right, Laos and Myanmar on top. But overall, this is Phuket, right? And on top of here is Bangkok. So it's up to you to figure out where you want to actually start. For me personally, I was in Phuket initially, and that is when I got the idea for doing my own thing. The problem though was that Phuket is really laid back, and people are really reserved. They don't spend as much money as they do in cities. Just like in every other place in the world, people spend more money in cities, and they're faster. Now, fast is the thing that I wanted to hone into, drill into your head, because what happened was, when I used to talk to people in Phuket, they were really slow in responding, except people in Bangkok were not. I'm not saying one is better than the other, but for a startup, a company that needs really fast growth, my suggestion personally would be to get people to actually come in uh, to a city. I need to check something. Give me a second. Uh, Sorry about that. I got a call from my parents like three times in a row, so I got a bit worried. Um, anyways, so where was I? Um, yeah, so the first thing is where you actually want to be. Now, like I said, Bangkok is faster than Phuket in terms of business sometimes. It's Phuket is based on tourism, which is really nice, but it's seasonal as well. In terms of Bangkok, Bangkok is basically there's business all year round, right? There's a lot of people who are going out to parties, to clubs, to restaurants. Different kinds of businesses are getting dealt with on a daily basis, and it's not seasonal. So business is not seasonal, is what I'm trying to say here, and that's the reason I chose Bangkok. Now, the next decision is, do you want to work from home or do you want to work at an office? Now, obviously, if you want to work from home, there's a lot of operating expenses that are not going to be there initially, as compared to an office where, like, you from the get go, you're going to be paying for rent. You're going to be paying either employees or not, doesn't matter, but to actually sit in a separate space, you will be spending a lot of money, which is in addition to your rent at home, right? There's electric, there's water, there's all of that stuff going on now. And one solution to this is, there's a bunch of locations around Bangkok, and some are really actually nice. They charge 300 baht a day for very high speed internet, for a desk or a cubicle. It's a co-working space basically, and that's something actually I have to try as well because I work from home. That is very good if you want to basically get out of the house if you decide to work from home. So those kind of expenses are things that you really need to look at initially. You're also for example, what I did was I you know knew that I had a couple of clients who are not going to be able to pay enough for me to get by easily, but it was something that I had. So I was like, if I can do this after work on a daily basis, what about if I do it for the entire day? Maybe I can get a lot more clients. That was a mistake initially. That was a mistake because obviously things change. Clients back out, you have problems and different things like that. But I got lucky. There were some good clients as well. So, and they've stuck out all this way for almost a year now. So that's a really good thing for me, uh, thankfully. Um, but if you are leaving a job, a lot of different things happen. You are not going to be able to socialize at work, even if it means having lunch with a group of people, or even just one person. Being able to see people when you're doing stuff, when you're working, is something that really keeps you normal. I don't get that uh, anymore now, so I have to force myself to get out, to actually meet people, to actually make friends, to eat out. Now, I love cooking at home, and it saves a lot of money as well. But at the end of the day, if I'm cooking at home for an entire week, I'm not going to see anybody. And so I started this thing that, I go to the gym now every day before or after work. I go out to get a cup of coffee. Actually, I don't do coffee. There's a Taubin. So I go there for a strawberry protein shake. So I do that, just to be able to see people interact with the world to some extent, because that always, keeps your mind at ease as well. So that's something you need to look into. Now, let's get into the actual basics of this. What do you actually do when you want to start a business? You've decided, what are you going to do? So over here, for the first thing is, what you actually want to do, because this actually comes under the registration of the company as well. So it's not like I said, okay, I'm just going to call my company Zosmart Productions, and that is it. I'm gonna do whatever in it. I'm gonna cook. I'm gonna start a house cleaning team, company team. I'm going to, start a restaurant. I'm going to start a gym. No. So first, when you've decided what you're going to do, you actually have to write this and give this to your lawyer, who we're going to talk about very soon in the next 2 minutes. You have to talk about the industry you're going to be in. You have to talk about the industry your company is going to give services for. And I decided on marketing and advertising, and that's basically what my company is registered under as an industry. Zosma Productions is a production company, and interestingly, I wanted to call it Zosma only initially, but I added productions to it because of this whole thing, like, what kind of company are you planning to run? And that is the reason I was like, production is actually good because we produce content, we produce videos, photography, photos from sessions and stuff like that. Now I'm advertising again, but that's what we do. So yeah, that needed to be decided first. Additionally, how much money do you actually have to start a company? Now, me, I paid a little over 70,000 baht, which is, if I look it into US dollars, because Thai people get enough help on these things, expats don't. It's almost $2,000 to start with. That's what I paid. There are people who have paid about 100,000 baht, which is about $2,700. There are people who have also paid, and friends of mine who have in the past paid about 1350 USD, $1,350. So do the math, but you need to keep that money aside. So what I did, I had some investments, I took some out and decided that this is going to be the payment I'm going to make. Additionally, there are different kinds of lawyers and accountants you can talk to and discuss this situation with. You can figure out a payment plan as well. So for me, I actually paid half of the 75,000, 70 something thousand, and then the rest I was like, can I just pay you over the course of a few months? I had the money, but I just wanted to, have this set as installments, because I mean, she offered and I said, sure, why not? It's basically like buying a phone or paying a bill, right? It becomes much cheaper for your daily life. So I did that. Additionally, the name that you're going to figure out has to have a logo as well, because you are about to once you go to the lawyer and discuss everything, they're going to ask you, do you have a logo? Because they actually need that for registration, and I didn't have one, so I just quickly made it on Canva, I think, and that's basically what I did. So yeah, name and logo is something that's important. Additionally, search for lawyers. Now, like I said, there are different price points for lawyers, but the main thing is that you need to know what kind of a lawyer you want to have. Do you want somebody who can speak really, really good English and they understand everything? If you're in Thailand and you don't know Thai, that is a major, major issue. My lawyer can speak English and Thai. I will say there are confusions sometimes, and I hate it. But then I realized that if I send an email out, write it up as simple as possible, I'm gonna be fine. And that's basically how I've survived for an entire year, almost an entire year with the business. So that's something to look into. Additionally, what are these accountants or lawyers going to do for you? They have to show capital. They have to help with Thai partners as well. So this is the next point. You're not going to be able to own the majority shares of your company. You're going to own less than 51%, because 51% goes to Thai partners. 49% is what you own. And that is an issue for a lot of people, but it's advisable. Like, I personally would advise you to get your own people, your own Thai friends, to actually do stuff with you, like be partners and managers and stuff, because that is, they're not going to run away. There's not going to be any issues. However, when you're talking about the legal system, when you're talking about lawyers and accountants, they also have people who are not just going to run away. And so you have that choice as well. Me personally, I got all my friends who I actually do take care of from time to time. Those are the guys I actually and girls are the ones I made partners to work with me. I know they're not gonna run away, and that's what's important to me, to be honest, and it should be important to all of you guys as well. Um, when you talk about keeping money aside, now one is, set up fees that you're gonna straight off hand off to the lawyer, right? They're gonna take care of your work permit, your passport, your visa, all of that. They're gonna take care of it. But how much money do you have set aside for actually starting a business? I'm not talking about only investment in the business. Things like I'm talking about things like how much money do you have set aside if you don't earn anything at all, for your own salary, food, water, electric, all of these things, in addition to rent, which is normally the biggest chunk, right? If you're good with salary, rent is the biggest expense there is. So you have to make sure you know that. You have to make sure that you um, don't just decide to put all the money, like for example 70,000 in the business, and then you go like, yeah, I'll figure things out. When you're under pressure like that, you're not going to just figure things out. It takes a lot to actually keep yourself really focused and look straight ahead, to actually be like, hey, I'm not earning money right now, I'll be fine. You're not going to be fine. This is basic, like, business teachings, I guess, but or rules. But at the end of the day, it the pressure comes at you really fast. It has come at me really fast as well. There has been in the past a client, my only client, my first client basically, who decided that they didn't have money enough to advertise, and this is like almost a year ago. When they weren't paying me too much, but even what they were paying me, it was helping me get by. And when they said they couldn't, I actually reduced the fees, because I was like, I actually need the money. I can't just, let them go like that. So I did that. But they took care of me. They knew that I had started a business, and they said, okay, fine, we'll still, keep you for a while, and so you can basically get better in your business, and it will be cheaper for us to keep you too for a while. So yeah, bless these guys that they actually did that. But if you're lucky, if you have good relationships with your clients, they will do good things for you as well if you go out of your way for them. So there's that. Then there's another one: minimums. So there are minimal salary or earning options. I'm not sure about all the other options. I can find out, and maybe I can write in the comments later. But I have to earn a minimum of 30,000 based on my work permit. 30,000 Thai baht based on my work permit, which is in dollars, it's about $800. So I have to earn $800 to legally still keep my business, and that is something that is not it's not a lot of money, but when you're basically working on your own or for yourself, it's a hefty amount of money to get. Sometimes maybe one client will not pay all of that, so you need at least two clients, and the minimal 30,000 is too low for rent and taking care of all of your expenses as well. So that's an issue that you need to look into. You have to earn at least maybe 50 to live a really decent, comfortable life as an expat. Not really comfortable, but comfortable enough. I've known expats to live on less than 20,000 baht as well, which is good for them. They don't have as many expenses as other people. But for my business, for my work permit, 30,000 baht is the minimum, which is about $800. So yeah, you can ask your accountant slash lawyer as well about this. Now I keep on saying accounting slash lawyer, or accounting, or accountant or lawyer, because sometimes they're one and the same. On On the other hand, sometimes they might have an accountant or a lawyer within that office as well. So it just, any company, any agent or whoever you hire for this, they will, take care of most of your situation. And it would be good. Hey, Munib, thanks for chiming in. I hope you're well. So that's Munib. He also started a business in Pakistan, by the way, and in drama and stuff. So that's cool. If you have any questions, Munib, please let me know. But what I was saying was, it is um, always a good thing to look ahead and see, do I need an office? And yes, you do. As an expat, especially if you don't know Thai, you do need a fully equipped office with, people who know about business. A lawyer, somebody who's going to take care of your taxes, so accountant and things like that. A lot of offices also have visa officers. Actually, most offices like this have visa officers as well, because they're going to have contacts at the visa office, at immigration, at transport, at the labor office. All of these things are going to be really important for you in the future, because, well, yeah, there's that. I'm going to make another point, but that'll be later. Make sure your passport is valid for a while, by the way. Passport is, if, for example, you're applying for a work permit and a business and everything, if it's going to, what do you call it? If it's going to, if your passport is going to become void, if it's going to expire, is the word. If your license, if your passport is going to expire in less than a year, that's a problem on its own, because you're going to get a visa for a year. You're going to get a work permit for either 1 year or 2 years as well. So you have to make sure that your passport is valid for the next maybe 5 years for the ease of the situation. Me personally, I got it. I got it extended to like 10 years. So my passport is going to expire in like 2030 something. So there's that thing that you need to look at as well. Um, we've talked about the percentages, type partners, um, the time frame to actually set up the business, have everything on hand. For me, it was about 2 months. Um, but I got all the paperwork within 3 months. Um, Basically, a minimum of 1 month is something you need to be looking at. If, for example, you're leaving a job, so this is a good example, and this is why I thought that this video was a good idea, because the experience talks for itself. It helps a lot. When I was working at my job, I had to give a 2 month notice. And when I gave my 2 month notice, before that, I talked to my boss and his boss and the HR department of that school, if I can actually, if they can keep my work permit going until I get all my paperwork done. And this is something I was genuinely worried about. And this is something that a lot of people are worried about, because, you know, not having a work permit in Thailand, if you're working here, is a no-go area entirely. You can't work without a work permit, right? And that freaks you out, because your visa is attached to your work permit as well. The non-B immigration visa is something that's attached to your passport, your work permit, and you're basically your stay in Thailand. So that kind of freaks you out. You don't want to spend money and travel to another country just to get that, in and out kind of entry stamps and stuff. Although people do that, I don't have the option of doing that because I have a Pakistani passport. Whoops. So if that would be the case with me, I would have to go all the way to Pakistan, which costs about 25,000 baht, and then come back and then get things done. Instead, I asked my HR nicely, and they said, okay, very nicely. They accepted the proposal, and they got in touch with my accountant slash lawyer, right? So they got in touch with her. Both of them were Thai. It was easier for communication stuff, and they helped with taxes. The tax ID either changing or not. I'm not even sure about that, but I actually got a tax cashback a few months after I had left. And I was surprised about that. Actually, I did not know there was, money that was left from the previous job, but it was. And they basically did all of it. They took care of every single thing I did not need to. All I had to do is pay the money and make sure that I was always there for documentation, signings, and things like that. So there was that. Like I said, they took care of my taxes, which means that they had a tax officer in my lawyer's slash accountant's office as well. So that is something to look into. Um, what else? That's basically it. I think my last point was already have a budget plan for rent, transport, food, water, utilities, utility bills going out, your own salary. I already said that initially. Already have customers. I said that initially as well, somewhere in the middle. Let me see if there's anything left. Hmm. There is nothing left, but I did find this web page that I want to share on the screen as well. I'm gonna make myself tiny. Yeah, so this one is from the Thai Embassy. So thaiembassy.com, it can't get easier than that. Comprehensive guide to starting a business in Thailand. So there's that, but now check this out. Siam Legal is buying ads for this website because it's literally the perfect thing to do. That guy looks expensive, but I'm sure they're they're gonna be good at what they do. But like I said, comprehensive guide, choosing your type of incorporation. So there are definitely points that I have missed out. I'm totally fine with that. I'm human, and I'm not, perfect, I guess. So so yeah, let me show you. A limited company, the board of investors, investment promotions. Um, Foreign entrepreneurs who want full ownership of their business can get that by being part of the Thailand Board of Investment. The board promotes select foreign companies, which assists with the grant of visas and work permits. So there you go. You're going to be exempt from corporate taxes as well, but the board is guided by strict criteria in choosing which foreign enterprises to promote. So like I said, I can make mistakes, and this is not a mistake, but an over something that you can actually have full ownership, but these are for specific businesses. Now, I'm guessing if they're talking about corporate tax, then these are massive companies, not a small one person company like myself. So there's that. Sole proprietorship, partnership, incorporating your company, registering the different types, planning your company, like I mentioned, what to actually call it, what you're going to do, identifying your niche, again, what you're going to do. I personally thought the marketing was a good idea, and I've been doing for 10 years. So there's that. Search for a Thai partner. Talked about this. Defining and clarifying goals. Registering your business in Thailand, obtaining licenses, applying for VAT, applying for other licenses. So there is a certain amount, which is 1.8 million baht. If you actually have the 1.8 million Thai baht in earnings, that is when you actually have to start paying VAT, the tax, value added tax. I don't have to do it. Good for me, I guess. But if I do earn 1.8 million baht a year, that would be a good, you know, good that's a good aspiration actually. That's a good point to get into. um, so there's that. Looking for an appropriate office space, like I said, you can register your company based on where you have to live. So here's the point for this. um, if you're actually planning to work from home and you want the business to be located on paper at home, then you have to get the address and stuff right for where you're going to be living for the next year or so. And you have to get permission from the owners as well. So this is another point, that if you actually want the business to have the address for, your rental agreement, then you have to get the book from the owner first, the permission, then the book from the owner, their ID card, and the rental agreement. So you give this as well to your agent, your accountant slash lawyer and stuff, and they're going to handle the rest. um, Applying for visas, like I said, the firm can do it. Applying for work permit, also they're going to do it. So work permit is something that's really important for a place like Thailand. They do not allow you to work without them. So that's something to look into. Every work permit, every foreigner who gets hired in a company in Thailand has to have a minimum of 3 Thai employees as well. So if, for example, I'm one person who's a foreigner, I need to have 3 Thai people who are going to be my employees. If I have two foreigners in a company, if we are two foreigners in a company, then you're talking about six. So think about it this way, that your capital needs to be shown for whatever you're doing in this. You can have employees, and you need to have employees, and this is all stuff that you need to talk to your agent about, and they deal with it. I'm not going to say how. You'll understand. If you really want to know, send me a DM, send me a private message, and I'll let you know how they do it as well, because it's a bit sketchy and I don't want to talk about it in a video that talks about, proper Thai setups. I just should have avoided that altogether, wouldn't have. Basically, that this has been written by a person in Siam Legal, or I'm guessing they decided to, you know, just market them to that extent, that they're going to do a shout out to Siam Legal. Good for them, I guess. So that's the deal with this. Like I said, if you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you so much for uh, watching. I'm just gonna check if we got any messages while this was happening. You can find these videos and others in Still Moving About on Facebook. We have a Twitter as well. This is my personal Facebook as well. And then there's the YouTube channel as well. So there's that. Think about it. Thailand is a wonderful, great place to live, and experience new things, new part of the world. It is very harrowing. It freaks you out a lot, when you're actually here, when you're new, but you make friends really easily. Thai people are extremely, extremely friendly, so there's always that. But like in every country, you'll find the good, you'll find the bad. At the end of the day, you'll make friends and you'll figure the place out. When I moved to Thailand 7 something years ago, um, there was nobody, absolutely nobody in Thailand who I knew. And it's been 7.5 years since then, man. And that's the point, that you make friends eventually, you'll figure shit out eventually. And at the end of the day, it's up to you where you want to go, where you want to move. Um, you don't have to come to Thailand right after this, but at least now you have a basic guide of what, you know, setting up a business in Thailand is all about. Happy to always take questions in comments, or any messages of love or hate. Please do that. Take care of yourselves, and I'm signing out. I have two screens, so that's why I keep on looking left, right. But yeah, take care of it. Please subscribe to the channel, watch these videos. If they help, please let me know. Take care of yourselves. Love ya. Bye bye.